So, our first and only review of the day is going to be for Gen V Season 2. Gen V Season 2, there is a continuation of the boys spinoff Gen V there about university students there at Godolphin U University. They're these super powered individuals there making their way through college, trying to learn their powers. We did a review of the first half of this season, me and Chris here, that's on YouTube right now if people want to check it out. This is the last part of it, so all 8 episodes are out right now. People want to check that out. And we're going to do a spoiler review for this. So we're going to be deep diving in that. If people don't want to listen to that, come back when you finish the season. I'm going to tell you if this is better or worse than the first season. We're going to tell you all about all the different details in this and how we liked it. And also, how do we think this connects to the boys season 5, which is coming out next year. So there's that. So what's going on in this season? Well, you have a new dean of the school here of Godolphin University there. And we have a character, his name is Cypher there. And he has all these big ulterior motives. What are they? The crew is trying to figure them out. They're trying to figure him out. Like, what is he trying to do here? What's his end game? You also have it where, he's all about pushing people to their limits, really experimenting with their abilities and powers, especially with Marie, who we find out some more details about her backstory, that she was an Odessa baby, which is like the special project there of people who got this special form of the Gen V there that was experimented on. So it seems like even more extremely powerful than the other suits that we've seen. It seems like to put it in X-Men terms, it seems like Marie is more of a Omega level suit there. That's more of an X-Men thing, like an Omega level mutant. If people know that, that means that you're like even a more powerful mutant than all the other mutants. That'd be like Storm, I believe, and is an Omega level mutant. Franklin Richards is an Omega level mutant. But yeah, and that she could possibly be like the chosen one. She's the one that could possibly even kill Homelander if she wanted to. There's a lot of stuff going that way. So a lot of the season is basically them versus this Dean character who's played by let me get the actor's name there. Batman himself.
Hamish Linklater?
Yes, Hamish Linklater, yes. So yeah, he plays him. And yeah, it's mainly the season is just kind of them, the crew that we saw from the last season. You have Marie, you have Emma, you have Kate, you have Derek and Jordan, and you have Sam. And also added addition, now that the actor who was in the first season passed away there, you have his father, who's played by Sean Patrick Thomas, who man, black don't crack. I mean, he's still looking good, man. Good on him.
Just gray hairs, but there's no wrinkles.
Yeah, man.
That's good.
Looking good, man. In shape too. Looking all right, man.
Great shape.
So you have them who are basically trying to figure out, what is this guy? So it's basically a lot of them versus this Dean. Chris, what are your thoughts on this season?
I'm surprised more folks aren't talking about it. I'm surprised there's no hype behind it. I feel like it's pretty consistent. I really enjoyed the show. There are some times I feel like I like it more than the boys. I feel like a lot of the gore and the language is better suited for the college kid era rather than when sometimes it can feel a little gratuitous in the boys. I still love the show, but sometimes the language and the gore can feel a little okay. All right, I got it. This is a lot, but I feel like Gen V is really good. Is perfect to lean into that, into how gross the show can be. Because in season 2, and in season 1, it's a little gross. I love how the story picks up. I love Hamish Linklater. I love that twist in the finale, which we will get to. Yeah, I'm Emma Meyer, Cricket. Like I said in the premiere of season 2, so far she's the MVP. She's the glue of the team, and by the end of the season, she is still the glue and the MVP. So funny. I don't remember her being this funny in season 1, but she is so funny in this season. And by the end of season 2, Polarity, played by Sean Patrick Thomas, he becomes an MVP because we learn about the mind control power and how his power kind of can disrupt that control, and also Marie Moreau being a bloodbender for the Avatar fans out there, coming into her own and really being what do they call her? Soup Jesus, because of what she's able to do with the extent of her bloodbending powers, whether if it's healing someone, um, um, healing their tremors, healing their seizures, closing their wounds and putting blood back into their body, bringing them back to life. Like, yeah, a lot of this season was great in terms of like shock value and the story itself. I love the relationships, the ones that last, the ones that don't last, the ones that are mended. Yeah. So before we get to the spoilers, that's my general thoughts. I think it's consistent. I'm surprised there wasn't more talk behind it, because this is going to be one of my favorite shows of the year.
Okay. Interesting. Yeah. We're going to get into the ending and spoilers later there. And I think it kind of ruins a little bit of the season for me. We're going to get into that. But I still like the crew. I still like them together. And like you said, the level up that Marie had in this is pretty amazing. Because at first it's like, okay, she can just, cut herself and then manipulate the blood.
Yeah. Like season 1, there was a lot of blood rope. Yeah. I was like, oh, that's so gross. She can like solidify it and like turn. Yeah, here she's trained and she learns how to do it without exposing the blood. The blood is obviously there, but she doesn't need to see it or touch it to control it anymore. So yeah. So that power, it is revealed. Victoria Newman had the same power. She wasn't just a head popper; she was a bloodbender, and that's why she was able to pop heads. She was just pulling the blood out of your face, and that's what happens. So
yeah. So yeah, the stuff that she's able to do with the level up of like, feeling all the blood and being able to, like you said, like she brings, her sister back to life. We see because they get put back into prison there for trying to research too hard in the cipher and trying to figure out a way of, to kill him. And they, her sister ends up and then they slit her throat there, and she's able to somehow like pull all the blood back into her and then bring her all the way back into life, that was an amazing kind of scene there.
She was dead. Her sister was dead.
Yeah, like fully dead.
She was dead, and she brought her back to life. I was like, that was a big one.
Yeah, and I don't know exactly what she's doing with like the other people in the room, like because they start getting like headaches and their nose.
Yeah, the nosebleed and the headaches. Like, I guess what I guess now getting into spoilers. The Dean Cypher telling her, you need to connect to every blood cell. It sounds funny. It sounds like kind of Star Wars, like midichlorians, but it's the truth. In order to do this, you need to connect with almost every blood cell in that body and just become one with it. That's what he says. Hamish Linklater's character, who we talked about last time for the premiere, the first 3 episodes or the first 4 episodes, the fact that Marie could sense no compound V in his blood, and yet he clearly had powers, and he clearly could be stabbed and harmed and not react to it. And then we do find out why. And I did say this in my reaction, really effective reveals in this season. The old burnt to a crisp person in the chamber in the house is revealed to be Thomas Godolkin.
SpongeBob, yeah.
SpongeBob. I don't know the actor's name. I know he's in Wicked.
Ethan Slater.
Ethan Slater, yeah. He's playing Thomas Godolkin, and while we still think Hamish is the bad guy, is it episode 8, episode 7? Marie, they find him because they think he might be the key to beating Homelander. If he has all this knowledge and did all this stuff, he might be. Oh, that's why they call him SpongeBob.
Yeah, because he played SpongeBob in the Broadway play.
I didn't know that.
Oh, you thought I was just calling him SpongeBob because
he was calling that because of how he looks, because of his teeth and his eyes. I'm like, okay,
oh no,
he actually paid SpongeBob.
yeah,
Damn, that sucks. Yeah, so it's revealed that he's Thomas Godolkin, and we think that he's gonna help. And Murray's like, if I heal you, can you help us beat Homelander? He goes, and then she heals him. This 100-year-old, this wrinkly, just burnt to a crisp. She heals him. He comes back, and it's revealed he's actually the one with the mind control. And Hamish Linklater's character has been his puppet the entire time. That was a crazy and very effective reveal, like a jaw-dropping shock value reveal. I did not see that coming at all, because again, the first 4 episodes, when we see him taking care of him, like, you know, almost like assisted living style, he's like wiping his butt and washing him and helping him stretch. There's that moment where he like lashes out at him and goes, "Oh, you stupid mother," you know. I'm like, whoa, you're beating a guy who's like comatose, who can't fight back at all. And then that reveal, I'm like, oh, so was that him kind of being mad at himself?
Yeah, like masochistic. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, something like that. I was like, this guy's a sick character, man.
Sick guy. So like you were already in spoilers, so it seems like the grand plan here, we get that revealed in episode 7, was seemed like it was all set up. It was a large part of him, and then also we have Sister Sage, who we saw in like episode 6, I think, as well. And so the grand plan was to seem like to unlock Marie's ability so that Marie could eventually heal Godolkin, so that he could go on for Sister Sage and her plan to whatever phase 2 she has going on and whatever is going on. We're going to get into Sister Sage and like, if that makes any sense a little bit with her, what she's got going on. But it seems like that was kind of the large purpose of this. And a lot of Thomas Godolkin, it seems like he's like, again, I'll throw out another X-Men reference here. It's like, he's kind of like Apocalypse. He's very, you know, even if you are a mutant, it doesn't matter. Like, it's the strongest will survive, Darwinism, whoever, you know what I mean, it can survive will and should. So therefore all the other people should die. And that's what we should do there. And then we see that with his ability, like this one guy who's like this pledge, who his superpower is he can like, his feet can turn into hands. He's like, that's fucking stupid. Like, that's pretty dumb. So he ends up killing that guy. So it's like, that's kind of his whole mission and things like that. I didn't like, I mean, he gets dispatched with in like the same episode, he comes back into power. So it kind of weakens if this guy's supposed to be this other, like he's the one that's pulling the strings. He's the one that has all this power. For him to get dispatched and dealt with in the episode he first appears in, really, then it seems kind of disappointing. What'd you think about that?
I agree. I did not think he was going to die. So when he did die, I was like, no way. I feel like he should have crossed paths with Homelander at some point, because of what he wanted to do with the whole Project Odessa. He was trying to become strong enough to control Marie so that he could control Homelander. He wants the strongest by his side. As he said, I'm going to cull the herd. So like he was inviting students in groups and just, you know, stop me from pushing the button. You know, I'm trying to weed out the strongest ones. So yeah, that was Project Odessa, trying to raise and produce the most powerful soups ever. So I agree. I think introducing a big bad like that, keep him around. Don't do the MCU thing where you introduce this really great villain in one movie and kill him off at the end of the same movie. I'm like, you should keep that guy around. I understand that no one stays dead in comic books, but Marie splattered him. Yeah. I don't think she's going to put him back together, even if she wanted to or could. Yeah, that was a very shocking death, and not really in a good way. I was like, oh, you should have kept him around. He was a heavy hitter. So because now we're back to Homelander being, you know, yeah.
And you realize, so like Hamish Linklater's character, who was this, we thought initially was this guy, just turned out to be some guy that just worked a regular job, and he he just controlled him, and there was another guy before him that aged out or died. So you had that. So he just was the one taking over. And so this gets into kind of Sister Sage, which I don't know how exactly she began a physical relationship with him, or they started to, like, I don't know how that became a thing there.
Intellect, I guess. They're both fine. Intellect, very sexy, and they're both very smart.
Yeah, I mean,
the only way I can rationalize that.
That just kind of,
they're both gross nerds.
I just kind of was like, okay, they have this deep connection and relationship. Okay, I mean, that kind of also was like, that's just kind of thrown in there. And then so her plan, and this, I had the same issue. I think we talked about it before. I think when we were here, when we talked about the boys, is that Sister Sage, like, I had the same issue. Was like, she might as well just, they have her as like somebody with precognition, or like someone who can see the future. Who actually, we have Marie's sister who can see the future.
Is a precog, yes.
So I don't know if now that she's on their side and she's part of the rebellion, the resistance, she can, because of her precog abilities, that can match up against Sage being super smart. And then because Sage is able to predict everything that's happening, I'm like, well, but how? Like, how are you able to go, like, all these things can all line up and all happen? And so her plan was, like I said, to bring him back so he can be part of her phase 2. But at the same time, like, she seems surprised that where he goes rogue and he goes like, yeah, that whole phase 2 shit is like, yeah, that's okay. I'll do my own thing. And this is what I'm going to do. It seems like she got, this is the same thing that happened to her when she was like a little girl, when she tells that story of she was able to find the cure for cancer and nobody believed her. And then when she's talking to Homelander, she's saying like, well, eventually it's going to come a point where you're not going to listen to me because, you know, you think you're smarter than me because of who you are, because of being a white man, and I'm a black woman, and you just think you're just naturally better and smarter than me. So eventually it's going to come that point where you're just going to stop listening. So it seems like that happened again in this scenario. So it's like, seems like even though she did have a backup plan for what was going to happen, but it just seemed like, did you think that made sense for her to trust this guy? And given like, if she can predict all these things going to happen, why couldn't she really fully predict that this was going to happen? Maybe.
And I feel like that might be the intentional folly written into her character. The fact that she's supposed to be not the smartest woman, she's the smartest. Her power as a soup, she is the smartest person on the planet. So if she is the smartest person on the planet, like she's supposed to be, how can she keep falling for the same trap? Essentially, if she is as smart as she's supposed to be, how do these men keep getting the best of her? So with that said, Josh, that might be intentional. It's a valid criticism for sure, but that might be intentional part of her character. Like that might be the juxtaposition of her character, the fact that she's supposed to be the smart, but she keeps getting bested in the end in some way. But I do think it's, you know, again, as a black woman, it is annoying to see that she's, you know, helping these people. And I'm like, you don't feel like you're on the wrong side, you know? You don't think you can use this intellect for good to help your people, but
you don't think. I mean, I guess this leads into my next question. What do you think her grand plan is? Do you think it is to kill all the soups, or is it to eventually where just she's in charge, or like, what do you think her grand plan is?
That's a great question. As smart as she is, I don't know what she wants. I don't know what her end game to me is still not clear. Does she just want a seat at the table at the end? Does she just want to be next to He Who Remains at the end of time, when, you know, it's like, is this really what you want, or you just know this is inevitable, and so you want to make sure that your ass is covered by the end of it? You know, it's that's a very good question. As far as Sister Sage goes, you know, the fifth season is the final season. Hopefully by then her motivation is clear, because as of right now it's still not clear. I don't know what this character wants.
Yeah. And I'm worried that with The Boys season 5, it's going to be like a thing where you have her and it's going to be like, oh, she had this grand plan all along. It's going to be like this kind of Deus Ex Machina type of thing, and then it's like, oh, she had this plan and all this was lined up exactly how she wanted, and they can kind of write it that way. And I feel like they'd be super lazy if they did that.
Just like Game of Thrones season 8 when Bran became the king. Like that was never set up, but they wrote it in. Oh yes, I was planning this all along. That's why I'm here. I'm like, no, like this is coming out of nowhere. This was not set up at all. But they're saying, oh, this was planned. They're writing into the dialogue. Oh, I planned this from the beginning. I'm like, yeah, that's lazy because you didn't. You're just saying that you did to make it okay, but you didn't. There was no setup for this at all.
Yeah. So I don't know how they're gonna do that. Like if I wouldn't maybe have such a problem with it if they showed maybe Sister Sage like working out like some equations or something like on a chalkboard or whiteboard, and she was like, okay, this has a 60% chance of working if I do this. Like if we see her process and how her mind works, maybe it wouldn't be so like, how did you come to this conclusion? Why are you going down this route? Like, why pick this? Like maybe that would just be better if you did something like we saw her like process of things. But yeah, I mean, for her to kind of get, it seems like bamboozled again by a guy and what's kind of happening. It's like, I feel like you got to know that's going to happen with Homelander eventually. She has to feel that because of him being so erratic and emotional and unpredictable that, okay, eventually I got to cut ties with him to do that. I want to get your opinion on some of the characters and their development in the season 2. Like I said, we lost Andre, the actor who did pass away there, and his presence is felt there. They do reference him many times there, and they do address his passing in this there, and they give him, I feel like a good send off there, especially in the last.
They really do. It wasn't just the first 4 episodes. They mentioned him throughout the entire season, which I liked. It was consistent. Like they kept his name and presence and spirit alive the entire time. I thought it was going to be just okay, let's explain what happened so that they know what happened, then we'll continue our story. No, Andre continued to be brought up in multiple conversations to inspire, to rally, to encourage. It was really nice. And before Hamish's character died, he's talking to Polarity about how he remembers, even though he was in the backseat of his own car, he remembers Andre at Elmere, the prison, whatever. And he remembered seeing how hard he fought to protect his friends. And he tells Polarity, "Your son is the greatest hero I ever saw." I was like, yeah. And Emma Meyer is inspiring the rat tail girl who can steal powers for 2 minutes, and the pube girl that even though your powers are what they are, you can be heroes too. Andre taught me that, even though I used to have to binge eat to grow and purge to shrink, he still taught me that I could be a hero even though my powers were how they were. But to answer your question, Josh, about character development, Emma also comes into her own. Similar how Marie kind of comes into her own with her powers. Emma, we see in the finale, she grew at will. She did not have to stuff her face with food. No one had to say anything nice about her to make her feel big. She just grew, naturally broke out of her clothes because that's what happens. And she kicked the shit out of Cypher, out of Godolphin. It was great. I loved it.
Yeah.
Andre's father, when we meet him in the beginning, he's drunk and depressed. He doesn't know how to carry on without his son. His wife is gone, son's gone. He's alone and he's having these tremors. And Emma talks to him about what Andre would have done, even at rock bottom. Marie heals him using her blood bending. She heals his tremors and his powers, and it's revealed that he can do this little electromagnetic burst thing that can disrupt the mind control, and that's exactly what he does. It's revealed in the episode where he faces off against Cypher, and he like kind of like magnetically backhands him out the window. And then in the finale, he opens the door and he does his little burst of energy, and it disrupts the mind control on Marie. So that was, again, great development for his character. What I did not like in terms of character development and relationships, we get Thomas Godolkin in the season, and we lose him in the season. Marie and Jordan get together this season. They break up at the end of the season. I'm like, imagine if in Abbott Elementary, if Janine and Eddie did that, Gregory did that. All this setup, all this will they won't they get together, and then at the end of that same season they break up. I'm like, come on. If you're gonna do the love story, let it breathe, let it grow into something even stronger, and so that when we lose it, we really feel it. Because it was sad to see them break up, but I was like, that was a waste. There wasn't enough time yet to truly be invested. So I was bummed, but I wasn't heartbroken. If they stayed together longer, if one of them died next season, in season 5 of The Boys, after being so close and so strong, because we know there's a big fight coming. Starlight and A-Train shows up at the end of the season, and they literally say, okay, lock in and join the rebellion, join the resistance, whatever they call it. I'm like, yes, there's a big fight coming, and if they didn't break up, there would be more investment, more of an emotional toll you would feel if they were together still and then lost each other in the actual end of the show. But yeah, so I didn't like that. But who else?
Sam. I thought there was some good closure with Sam and his trauma, and
that's development. He's no longer, I was waiting for him to have his episode where he loses control. He didn't. He's come a long way. He's learned. We meet his parents. He's no longer having the puppet show hallucinations. He is jealous of whatever Emma has going on with this flyboy. But it's not to the point where he lashes out. They actually work together in the end to defend her against some big guy, and that was cool, I guess. The show, The Boys, they usually don't have a problem with character development. There might be some writing issues where a character does something silly or inconsistent, like we were just talking about with Sister Sage. A lot of what her motivations isn't clear yet, and the way she moves is confusing because, again, you're the smartest person ever, and you're still falling for these tricks. In terms of character development, I really liked season 2. By the end, my MVPs were still Emma, but also Marie and Polarity. I think those 3 were really like essential pillars as far as helping the team.
Yeah. A lot of the stuff with this season seems like characters kind of overcoming a lot of issues they had in the first season, and that kind of development there, like you mentioned with Emma, finally being able to kind of seems like she can turn it on and off now. She can get big and get small. She doesn't have to like purge or do anything like that. And like you said, also inspiring kind of some of the other smaller heroes. The girl with a Sasquatch in her pants, like she steps in. I was surprised to see her at the end. I mean, she helps take down Godolkin. She ties him up with her hair and everything.
The finale is called Trojan because they're all hiding inside of the guy's ass.
Yeah, the guy with the black hole in his
ass. So when he shows up, the camera, like, he gets a close up, so he's up to something. Like, he's not just there; he's there for a purpose. And then the squad just comes popping out of his ass, and the pube girl unzips and wraps him up, and then the mouse girl touches his face, and for 2 minutes she has powers and she's controlling everyone, and she lets go of the control, and it's great that everyone has a chance to be a hero. And Kate, we didn't talk about Kate yet. It was this season, it was a big point of contention that no, Kate, even though Marie can heal people, she refused to heal Kate because of what she did, and there was no trust. I can't heal her. There's no guarantee she won't do what she did again. She's in Vought's pocket. But by the end, character development, Marie decides to heal her, and she gets her powers back. We don't see her use them, but we do know she heals her, and she seems to be like actually grateful and thankful. So we'll see what Kate Dunlap does next season. But I think, as far as character development, I think she's back on the right side with her friends because, again, Andre was a big thing for that. I think in season 1 there was like a love triangle between her, Andre, and Schwarzenegger, Patrick Schwarzenegger.
Yeah.
Yeah,
The guy who set himself on fire, he could fly,
yeah,
like Human
yeah,
Torch or something.
yeah. They were like best friends, and they both had a thing for Kate, and Kate kind of like did things with both of them. So, yeah, a lot of great character development. I just think Godolkin was killed off too soon, and we lost the Murray and Jordan relationship too soon.
Yeah, the Marie and Jordan thing. I mean, the on again, off again, and them having kind of rocky stuff. That was kind of the least interesting to me for the season.
Yeah, there wasn't enough of it. It could have become more, but they didn't nurture that enough, and then they let it go. I'm like, all right.
Yeah. I mean, get it. I mean, she was kind of getting crazy at the end, Marie, and she was using her powers and shit and blood bending people and all that other stuff. And, I don't want your help. And she's kind of going a little rogue. She was like, yeah, she's a little crazy. Maybe
Yeah,
yeah.
she kept leaving Jordan behind.
So I thought that, I thought that was kind of one of the least interesting things. I liked some of the Emma stuff relationship wise with the Maverick guy. I thought he was kind of fine. And then her finding a healthy relationship there, which was nice. But, yeah, I mean, I think that's kind of the biggest thing. I don't think because it feels like when the season 8 ends, where episode 8 ends, it feels like that's halfway point of a longer season. Like you got maybe 4 more episodes in like a 13 episode season or something, where you could do some stuff where with Godolkin, where you have him back as like the main villain. It's like, oh shit, now we know who really is the big bad. What are we gonna do to take this guy down? And then for him to just get dispatched so quickly, it kind of feels kind of a letdown a little bit with that. But I still liked, everybody in the season, I still think did a really good job. I liked Maria a lot. I liked Emma a lot. I liked Kate a lot. I like them working together. Their chemistry, I think, works really well. I did like the ending of it, that they're joining together with that leads into The Boys season 3, and see how they're going to do that, being a part of the resistance. I did like A-Train showing up there. That was also a cool thing with him. I don't know if there's going to be a Gen V season 3. I don't know if there is. It'd be surprising if there was, because I don't really know how you go back to season 3 with this. You
After
have
The
to
Boys ends in season 5, because I'm not sure how we continue with Gen V after the end of The Boys, because it's a spin-off of So we'll see how The Boys ends. It depends on how The Boys ends. That'll determine if there's a season 3.
Yeah, it depends on who's left. Maybe some people are gonna die. Maybe with that, so maybe that's gonna happen. So, yeah, we gotta maybe wait to see The Boys season 5. But yeah, do you think this is better than season 1?
Considering how hard they had to pivot after the passing of Chance Perdomo, I'm gonna say yes. I'm gonna say I did enjoy this more than season 1, and I really enjoyed season 1. This is the reason why I watched season 2. Is the reason why I was excited for season 2. Hamish Linklater as a villain, he's incredible this season. While he's being puppeteered, or puppeted, whatever. He's great, and the character development is great. The backstory is great. Yeah, the relationships are strong. I loved it.
Yeah. I kind of wondered also, like, how long is his frequency with his powers? Because like he's able to control him, I guess. Like he's still at the house and he's able to control him like all the way when he's somewhere else. So it's like, I don't know. How does that really work? I guess, but
is that chamber he's in? Is it like Cerebro? Is it amplifying his powers?
Yeah. So I was kind of wondering that a little bit. Like now that the twist got revealed, I was like, I wonder, what's the range of it, I guess.
Yeah.
So what would be your rating for Gen V season 2?
Tune in. It's not for everyone. I can't call it peak or this is cinema, because it's so It's so gory, so gross, so raunchy. It's not for everyone, but if you can handle it, it's definitely worth watching. If you like The Boys and you have not seen Gen V yet, give it a chance for sure. Absolutely, I would say tune in.
Yeah, I give it a tune in as well. I like this season. I didn't like how it ended there. I spoke about that already pretty much in length. And a lot of the stuff with the overarching kind of like the twist and explaining it, I think was kind of just like, I don't know if this could have been handled way better. But I still liked a lot of the character development stuff in this, how it kind of connected to the boys and what we'll see in leading into that. I did like there. I wonder if there's people who just watch this show but don't watch The Boys. I'd be interesting if there's if that's a section of people going like, I don't even know who the fuck these like who's Star Litter? Who the hell is that? Um, it'd be interesting to see who that is. But yeah, it'd be interesting there to see that. But I also like the show, like we spoke about it when we discussed season one, is how like they're touching on kind of things that college age students experience, like Marie with self-harm, and then Emma with body dysmorphia, that kind of issue there, self-worth, and Kate, you have her issue there with being perfect and being number one, and the kind of the stress that can put on you.
Sam, like mental health, just
Mental health, which it got confirmed that he has like not schizophrenia, but he has like maybe BPD or something. He has like a certain medical, I forgot exactly what they say in it, but he has a certain a mental health condition there. That kind of makes him kind of somewhat the way he is. So it wasn't just it wasn't his powers making him that way. He actually had like
something he actually struggles with for sure.
You know what I mean? Like, something along the lines of like BPD or schizophrenia. So you have that kind of brought in, which I thought was very good when we kind of learned that. So yeah. So I did kind of enjoy those bits of it. So I'd give it a kind of a lowish tune in for me. There, it's just funny that we've had like Peacemaker season 2 and then this season 2. There, people have kind of said that maybe this is kind of weaker than the first season of these shows. So that's kind of been interesting there. But is it better than season 1? I still think I've said this about Peacemaker season 2. I don't think it's better than season 1 because I think the overall package isn't as strong. But I think because the way it ends, I think season 1 ends a lot better than the way season 2 ends. But I still think it was. I think it was still kind of decent there. So I would give it a lowish tune in for me for Gen V season 2. So 2 tune ins there for Gen V season 2.